Warning: it is important that prior to performing this or any other safety or service procedure on any Heil product, that the person performing the work have both read and firmly understands the parts and service manual as well as the product operator's manual, including detailed safety instructions that accompanied this vehicle. If there is anything that is unclear or that you don't understand, do not attempt to operate the vehicle or perform any of the service or maintenance tasks called out in this video. Quarantine the area, walk away from the vehicle, and contact your supervisor immediately for clarification. It is also important to ensure you are wearing the appropriate personal protective equipment, hereafter referred to as PPE, prior to beginning this or any other service or maintenance procedure. Hey, I'm Travis Wallen, the service guru here at Heil Environmental in beautiful Fort Payne, Alabama. Thanks for joining me at the Service Shack. Today we're going to talk about how to properly operate your Heil DuraPack Rapid Rail side loader. The DuraPack Rapid Rail features a heavy lifting capacity of up to 1,600 pounds and 8-second cycle time. This ensures that it will be a superstar on residential, commercial, and multifamily refuse routes. The strong arm can handle 30 to 400 gallon waste containers and has virtually zero kickout, allowing for operation in tight spaces. For more information on the Heil DuraPack Rapid Rail side loader, head over to the Heil website. Before we start, let's talk about your daily pre-trip inspection. Prior to going on route with any refuse vehicle, a good pre-trip inspection of the body and chassis is required to ensure a safe, trouble-free day. If you're not sure of how to do a proper pre-trip inspection, go to the Heil website and view our Service Shack pre-trip inspection video. It is necessary to warm up the unit's hydraulic oil before you start your daily route operation, or to check the oil level. The hydraulic oil is sufficiently warmed when the temperature is between 120 and 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Clear all people from the area before you operate the unit, and follow these steps to properly warm up your hydraulic oil. Start the vehicle and immediately apply the parking brake, ensuring it is functioning correctly. Engage the hydraulic pump for approximately 5 minutes. Check your mirrors and, if equipped, camera monitor to ensure the area surrounding the vehicle is clear of personnel. Operate the pack extend and packer retract functions through 10 cycles while the engine idles. To do this, simply press the green packer extend push button once and let the auto pack do its job. Make sure the oil temperature on the sight gauge is reading between 120 and 160 degrees Fahrenheit. If not, go ahead and operate the pack extend and retract a few more times to raise that oil temperature. The DuraPack Rapid Rail lift arm can be controlled by electro-proportional Python-style joystick controls, or optionally by electro-proportional Rapid Rail style joystick, or a traditional Rapid Rail 4-button control. The Python-style joystick control comes standard on your DuraPack Rapid Rail. The joystick controls the lift functions and has 5 push buttons to control the grabbers, pump, and packer panel. The Python-style joystick can be moved forward, backwards, or sideways for the different functions. They are identified as follows. Warning: moving equipment can be dangerous to bystanders. Serious injury or death can occur if a person is in the wrong area or is not attentive to the operations. Clear the area of all unnecessary people before you operate the controls. Notice, the DuraPack Rapid Rail grabbers cannot close and lift arm cannot raise while in the stowed position under the body or until the lift arm is extended out at least 12 inches from the body. Pull the joystick back to the 6 o'clock position and hold to raise the lift. Release the joystick to stop movement of the lift. Push the joystick forward to the 12 o'clock position and hold to lower the lift. Release the joystick to stop movement of the lift. Move the joystick to the 9 o'clock position and hold to retract the lift. Release the joystick to stop the movement of the lift. Move the joystick to the 3 o'clock position and hold to extend the lift. Release the joystick to stop the movement of the lift. The joystick has 5 push buttons on the handle. The buttons are as follows. The red button on the joystick controls the hydraulic pump. Press and release the button to activate the hydraulic pump. Press the button once again to turn off the pump. The gray button on the left of the joystick is the grabber open button. Press the button and hold to open the grabbers to the desired open position and then release the button. Note, if you have coordinated lift enabled, pressing and holding the grabber open button will cause the grabbers to open and auto retract to the lift stow position. The gray button on the right of the joystick is the grabber close button. Press this button and hold to close the grabbers to the desired close position and then release the button. Note, if you have coordinated lift enabled, pressing and holding the grabber close button will cause the grabbers to close around the cart, then initiate the arm to automatically lift the cart up and into the hopper, and automatically start the dump cycle. The green button on the joystick controls your pack extend function. When you press and release the button, the packer panel will go through one complete auto packing cycle. The yellow button on the joystick controls your packer retract function. When you press and hold the button, the packer panel will retract to the front of the body. Your DuraPack Rapid Rail can also be outfitted with an optional Rapid Rail style joystick. The joystick controls the operations of the lift arm and the grabber assembly. The operation of the joystick function continues until you move the joystick back to the center neutral position or just let go of the controls as it is self-centering. The operation of the rocker switch function continues until you release the rocker switch. The controls are as follows. To move the lift arm out, move the joystick forward to the 12 o'clock position. Release the joystick when the arm is at the position you want and the operation will stop. To move the lift arm in, press and hold the left side of the rocker switch on top of the joystick. Release the rocker switch when the arm is at the position you want and the operation will stop. To close the grabbers, move the joystick to the 3 o'clock position and the grabbers will close and secure the container. Release the joystick to stop the grip operation when the container is securely grasped. To open the grabbers, when the container is securely on the ground, move the joystick to the 6 o'clock position and the grabbers will open. Release the joystick to stop the release operation. To raise the lift arm, press and hold the right side of the rocker switch on top of the joystick to move the arm up and pivot the grabber assembly to dump the refuse into the hopper. Release the rocker switch to stop the operation. To lower the lift arm, move the joystick to the 9 o'clock position to pivot the grabber assembly out of the hopper and move the arm down. Release the joystick to stop the operation. You can also use the 4-button control on your DuraPack Rapid Rail. Each function is a momentary rocker switch. That is, you press the switch to the position of the operation and hold it there to enable that operation. When you release the switch, the operation stops. The controls are as follows. Out-in rocker switch. This switch controls the in and out movements of the lift arm. Press the switch to the out position and hold it there to move the lift arm out. Release the switch when the lift arm is at the correct position. Press the switch to the in position and hold it there to move the lift arm in. Release the switch when the lift arm is at the correct position. Grip release rocker switch. This switch controls the grip and release functions of the grabber arm. Press the switch to the grip position and hold it there until the grabber arms are closed sufficiently to lift the refuse container. Press the switch to the release position and hold it there until the grabber arms open sufficiently to release the refuse container. Down-up rocker switch. This switch controls the down and up movements of the lift arm. Press the switch to the down position to lower the lift arm. Press the switch to the up position to raise the lift arm. Dump-undump rocker switch. This switch controls the pivoting of the lift arm to empty a refuse container or dump it into the hopper, and to return it from the hopper to a level position after emptying the refuse container. Press the switch to the dump position to empty the refuse container. Press the switch to the undump position after the refuse container is empty. Whenever you drive your DuraPack Rapid Rail unit to and from route, along the route, or to the disposal site, make sure the unit is set up in the in-transit position. Transit position is having the body fully lowered, the tailgate down and locked, the lift arm is fully stowed with the grabber arm assembly against the chassis and the grabber fully open. The top door or hopper cover is closed if you're not en route, or open if you're currently en route. The packer panel is at the front of the hopper if the body is empty, or up tight against the refuse if there is refuse present in the body. The PTO or pump switch is off, the mirrors are properly adjusted and clean, the side access door and sump doors are closed and latched, all outside lights are working properly. Follow the next steps at each stop along the route to grab and dump refuse containers. Warning: be sure the area around the container is clear before operating the lift arm. Make sure there is adequate overhead clearance before you raise the container. Contact of the unit with overhead electrical lines is dangerous. Serious injury or death may occur. Remember to observe all danger and warning hazard alerts. Move the unit to a position that is best to load the refuse with the DuraPack Rapid Rail arm. Practice this maneuver for best results. Also, if equipped, make sure the hopper cover is open. You can damage the unit if you try to dump a container with the hopper cover closed. Pull the system power switch up and push the pump on button. The pump on light should be on. If the engine RPMs go above 900, the lift pump will shut off and the arm will not operate. Ensure that your foot is on the service brake while in gear and the engine RPMs are at or below 900 RPMs. If coordinated mode is turned on, closing the grabbers will initiate an auto lift sequence. The operator must hold the grabber closed button to continue the auto lift cycle. The container will raise and retract automatically. If coordinated mode is not being used and turned off, after you press the grabber close button, you will need to manually raise the container to the dump position by using the joystick. Next, the operator will manually replace the container to the desired position on the ground using the joystick. If coordinated mode is turned on, pressing and holding the grabber release button will release the container and automatically return the lift to the stowed position. If coordinated mode is turned off, then the release button will release the container and the operator will need to manually stow the lift with the joystick. All DuraPack Rapid Rail units are equipped with a coordinated lift feature. This feature allows the operator to partially automate the lifting, dumping, and returning the refuse container to the ground. The control for coordinated lift is a rocker switch on the main control panel. Note: the DuraPack Rapid Rail unit is meant to be controlled using coordinated mode. This mode combines functions in a fluid motion to complete a lift cycle. When the coordinated lift feature is enabled, after a preset time and the grabbers is closed around the container, the lift arm raises automatically, except when the feather function is enabled. In this case, the grabber assembly operates normally with the grip and release functions and there is no up operation. To use the coordinated lift and undump feature on a standard Python style joystick control, press the coordinated mode switch to on and release. Move the joystick to the out position and hold until the arm is in position to pick up the refuse container. Press the right gray button on the joystick, the grabbers close around the container, and the arm automatically carries the container up and into the hopper, dumping automatically. Notice, when enabled on the Insight diagnostic display, the can will shake at the top of the coordinated lift cycle. If the grabber close button is released and then pressed again, the can will shake again. When the container is empty of refuse, push and hold the joystick to the undump position. The lift arm will rotate the container out of the hopper and lower the container to the ground. When you press the left gray button on the joystick, the grabbers will release the container and move the lift arm in to the stowed position. To use the coordinated lift and undump feature on the optional Rapid Rail style joystick control, press the coordinated mode switch to the on position and release. Move the joystick to the out position and hold until the arm is in position to pick up the refuse container. Move the joystick to the grip position and hold. About 1 second later, the lift arm will move in and up, then dump the refuse container. Notice, when enabled on the Insight diagnostic display, the can will shake at the top of the coordinated lift cycle. If the grabber close is released and then selected again, the can will shake again. When the container is empty of refuse, move the joystick to the undump position and hold. The lift arm will rotate the container out of the hopper and lower the container. Move the joystick to the release and the grabbers will release the container and move the lift arm in. To use the coordinated lift and undump features on the Rapid Rail 4-button control, When the coordinated lift mode is enabled, you start the coordinated lift when you press the switch to the out position and hold it there until the arm is in position to pick up the refuse container. When you press the grip switch to the grip position and hold, the gripper arms will close around the refuse container, and approximately 1 second later, the lift arm in and up functions will start. The lift arm will pivot and dump the refuse. Notice, when enabled on the inside diagnostic display, the can will shake at the top of the coordinated lift cycle. If the grip toggle switch is released and then pressed again, the can will shake again. You lower and undump the refuse container when you press the undump switch and hold it. You then manually extend the lift arm with the in-out switch. Press and hold the in-out switch at the out position until the refuse container is where you want it. Then you release the in-out switch. You finish the coordinated lift mode when you press and hold the grip release switch at the release position and hold it there. The grabbers will release the refuse container and retract the loader arm to the stow position. Some operators find it more productive using the lift in manual mode. Manual mode is operating your lift with coordinated mode turned off. Here's how to operate your lift arm in manual mode. First, using the 4-button control, move the lift arm in, out, or up and down to position the grabbers to grip the refuse container. Make sure the container is in the center of the grabbers. Do not use the tips of the grabbers to squeeze and lift the container. Press the grip release rocker switch to the grip position until the container is firmly secure with the grabbers. Use the 4-button control and move the lift arm with the up, down, in, out functions until the lift arm is in position to unload the refuse container into the hopper. Use the 4-button control and press the dump undump switch to the dump position to unload the refuse into the hopper. With the coordinated mode turned off, you will need to use the 4 rocker switches to complete a full dump cycle. Your Heil DuraPack Rapid Rail comes with the following features that will help you along the route. All units are equipped with a feather mode feature. Feather mode slows down the movement of the lift arm. The control for feather mode is a rocker switch on the main in-cab control panel. To use this feature, simply push the switch to the on position and push it again to the off position to turn it off. Feather mode is a great feature to use when you have containers in tight areas. The can shake feature allows the operator to shake stubborn refuse out of the container. When enabled on the in-sight diagnostic display, the can will shake at the top of the coordinated lift cycle. If the grabber close button is released and then pressed again, the can will shake again. To turn on can shake, on your diagnostic display, press the button associated with SelectoPack. After doing so, 2 new buttons will appear. One is to enable can shake. The other is to select single shake or double shake. Loads can be compacted automatically or manually. In addition to the auto-pack mode during loading, you can pack the refuse manually anytime after dumping a cart into the hopper. You can use the in-cab controls for the packer panel to compact the load again with a manual cycle. Many factors affect how often you need to compact the load, including the operator's experience. SelectoPack is a standard feature on all Cortex-controlled Heil ASLs. This feature automatically cycles the auto-pack after a predetermined number of lift cycles. To set the number of lift cycles before automatic operations of the packer, follow these steps. Turn the system power to off. Press and hold the pack retract button for 5 seconds. The in-cab alarm will begin to sound after 5 seconds. Each additional activation of the retract button will allow 1 additional lift cycle before automatically packing the load. Then turn system power switch on. You've now set up your SelectoPack for a predetermined number of lift cycles. Your Heil DuraPack Rapid Rail can pack on the move. This means you can operate the packing mechanism while your ASL is moving as well as when it's stationary. The default mode of your body pump is the auto pack mode. This allows for auto packing while the pump is on. You can pack on the move when the Cortex controller determines that all conditions are okay. Likewise, the Cortex controller will shut the system down when the engine RPMs are above safe operating speeds, or the Cortex controller determines that conditions are not correct for the pump to operate. The packing cycle will not begin if the engine RPMs are above a safe operating speed. Packing to your body's maximum payload should be the goal of every driver. and the Heil DuraPack Rapid Rail are among the most productive ASLs out there. With that said, payloads vary, simply based on what your DuraPack Rapid Rail collects at the curb. For instance, dry bulk cardboard, construction material, styrofoam, foam packing materials, and loose plastic can't be compressed and packed as effectively as wet and soft municipal solid waste. If you can mix some dry materials with some wet yard waste, you'll get a better payload. You'll notice after the first few containers, trash will begin to fall back into the hopper. When you see this, mix in some wet trash. This will help compact the load and will also lubricate the body, which will result in better packing. When the body is near a full payload, you'll notice that the packing cylinder will not extend fully before returning to the front of the hopper. When you travel to and from the disposal site, make sure of these things. If driving a dual steer unit, make sure you're driving from the left-hand driver's position. The body is fully lowered. The tailgate is down and locked. The DuraPack Rapid Rail is in transit position, meaning that the arm is fully stowed and the grabbers are in their fully open position. The top door or hopper cover is closed. Just make sure you open the hopper cover before dumping any additional containers. When you arrive at your disposal site, position your Heil DuraPack Rapid Rail on firm, stable ground for unloading. Warning: make sure that all individuals are clear of the point of operations before actuating controls. Be ready to stop or reverse the function. First, shift the transmission into neutral. Apply the parking brake and make sure it's holding. Press and release the red pump on to activate the pump. Unlock the tailgate by pushing and holding the tailgate unlock toggle switch until the tailgate is completely unlocked. To raise the tailgate, press the tailgate up-down switch to the raise position and hold until the tailgate is completely raised, and then release the switch. Now let's empty the body. With the tailgate completely raised, eject the refuse by pressing the green Packer Extend push button until all refuse is emptied out of the body and the Packer panel comes to a complete stop. Then release the button. Important: to prevent trash from falling back behind the Packer panel, you may need to retract the panel a couple of times during the ejecting process and re-engage the extend motion until fully unloaded. Then it's time to clean out from behind the Packer panel to ensure your DuraPack Rapid Rail is ready to get back out there on the route. To do this, disengage the pump switch. Then, using 3 points of contact, step out of your Heil DuraPack Rapid Rail. Before you clean and inspect the tailgate seal, prop the tailgate with the 2 factory tailgate props. Then lower the tailgate until it rests in the props. Next, turn off the engine, remove the ignition keys, and place the unit in lockout-tagout mode. Make sure you've watched the Heil Service Shack lockout-tagout episode prior to operating this or any other Heil vehicle. Once that's done, make sure the area where the tailgate seal mates with the body is clean and free of any refuse and debris. Inspect the seal for possible excessive wear or damage and replace if necessary. Report any excessive wear or damage to your supervisor. Next, open the side access door and clean behind the Packer panel. You will need to do this after each load. Caution: always use 3 points of contact when climbing the side access door ladder. Inspect the Packer tracks and hopper floor for excessive wear or possible damage. Your body's sump also needs attention. A sump door is located on the front corner of each side of the body and needs to be open when cleaning out the sump area. Heil has made that easier by providing a clean out tool with each unit. Clean out the sump area after unloading at the disposal site. Be sure to close and latch both sump doors when completed. Sump doors should be closed at all times except when open for cleaning. It's also important to remove any trash from around the engine or exhaust system, as this can cause a fire if not removed. Then, remove the lockout-tagout. Once you've completed these tasks, re-enter the vehicle while using 3 points of contact and return the Packer panel to the front of the body by pressing the yellow Packer Retract button. Then release the push button. To lower the tailgate, press the tailgate up-down switch to the raise position and hold it to raise the tailgate sufficiently to rotate the props out of the prop pockets. Then store the tailgate props. Always physically check behind the vehicle to make sure the area under and around the tailgate is clear before lowering the tailgate. Next, press the tailgate up-down switch to the lower position and hold to fully lower the tailgate. Then release the switch. Finally, use the tailgate lock toggle switch to lock the tailgate. pressing the lock for about 5 seconds to ensure that both locks fully engage. Before you leave the disposal site, make sure the unit is in the in-transit position. By following these simple steps, the Heil DuraPack Rapid Rail will serve you and your community very well for years to come. Well, that does it. Now you know how to properly operate your Heil DuraPack Rapid Rail. If you still have questions, contact Heil Technical Support at 866-310-4345. Remember, we're here to help in any way we can. So be safe out there, and we'll see you next time here at the Service Shack.